Did anyone catch the SpaceX launch yesterday with the 2 American astronauts going into space? Hi everyone, my name's Sany and welcome back to my maths adventure. Now, the weather is absolutely amazing, so I thought, why not? Let's go outside and let's do the next video here in this glorious weather. In this video, I'll be talking about my experience at college for the last year as a mature student and how everything really blew up when this coronavirus came about and how it really affected my studies. Did everyone catch the SpaceX launch yesterday with the 2 American astronauts going into space? Amazing experience to see again humankind going into space, doing space exploration, just to see that all over again. And not only just to explore space, but also another fundamental fact, to explore our place in the universe and to see if we are as significant as we are meant to be and as humankind makes us out to be. And just to see that again, you know, it's quite emotional actually. I was watching it with my family and we were doing the countdown. You know, it was kind of nerve-wracking, even though I wasn't invested in it fully in terms of like being there in that experience. But, you know, just to see those astronauts going to space, just really great to see. So my story really begins in 2017. After I finished my GCSE maths, I went straight into enrolling onto my A-level mathematics course in the autumn. However, there was one challenge that I knew that was coming up, and that was the fact that at work I took a promotion. Now, I took a promotion knowing full well that I may not actually be able to balance working full-time within that promotion and also doing my A-level mathematics, knowing how hard that A-level was. But I took the risk anyway, knowing that, you know, in the future it's going to be challenging, but at the end of the day you set yourself big goals to achieve big dreams. So when I actually began the course and began my promotion, I immediately felt that this was going to be difficult. After a few months, it got really challenging, you know, the pressure of maintaining a high standard at work and also maintaining a high standard at college, you know, delivering in terms of like the standard of the homework, attendance, and just trying to keep up with the A-level mathematics course. Yes, I understood at the beginning it was going to be difficult, but I really didn't understand until a couple months in how difficult. So in early 2018, I made a decision to actually leave college, and I think it was a great decision. I spoke to my tutor about it and she said, look, at least you're not leaving college because you're giving up. You're leaving college because you've been promoted and you need to focus on that because that's your career, that's what brings in the money. And she understood completely. So it wasn't for negative reasons that I left college, it was for the fact that I wanted to focus on my promotion, on my career and on my work and delivering a high standard there. So in 2020 I had the opportunity to actually go back to college, the reason being because my temporary promotion ended, and that gave me a window of opportunity to go back to college and take up back A-level mathematics. You know, I really don't like to leave things unfinished in my life. So I made a decision to go back and pay ridiculous amounts of money once again. And here I am now in 2020, just finishing off the first year of my A-level mathematics course. You know, one of the challenges that I had when I initially began the course in 2017 and to a certain extent now was fitting in. Now, as a mature student at college in the evenings, you're going to find a diverse mix of students. So I was a mature student. There were people in their 50s, their 60s, their 40s, people just left school who came to do the course. So this was a real diverse mix of students at college, and with that came with the problems with actually finding a connection with everybody. Everyone's diverse, everyone's different ages, different experiences, come from different backgrounds, and just finding a connection with everyone is really challenging. I think a great thing I did this year was not really underestimating how difficult the A-level mathematics course would be. I mean, I think back in 2017, I knew how difficult it would be. However, I did underestimate it a little, thinking, yeah, I'm going to breeze this. I got GCSE mathematics A star, so I should be able to breeze the first couple of months. But it wasn't actually like that. You know, after a few months, the difficulty really ramped up. It got to a stage whereby I really had to focus every single lesson, but not also at lesson outside of class as well, but every day, just to keep up with the material, because the pace at college was so intense. You know, we had to learn two different aspects or two different topics of mathematics every single lesson. So we could be doing surd and coordinate geometry one day. The next lesson we could be doing differentiation with integration, or we could be doing mechanics and doing statistics at the same lesson. So it was very varied, but also it was very intense. So coming into 2019, I didn't underestimate it this time. I knew how difficult it was going to be, and also in the summer of 2019 I really revised hard in terms of like the material I learned in 2017, so I was really prepped and ready to go for the first couple of months, and that gave me a kind of head start. You know, with the coronavirus and everything that's gone on with it, I kind of like feel disappointed, a little bit cheated that I actually didn't do exams, which is kind of funny. I think a lot of students will feel relieved that they didn't have to do like end of year exams, but I really wanted to do it. I just wanted to demonstrate that I worked really hard to be in this position, to be good at my mathematics, and I really wanted to demonstrate that in my exams to the other students, to my tutor, but not least to myself, that I was capable of doing this course and excelling at mathematics. Another thing that I feel immensely disappointed about was the fact that this year's grade, whatever grade I'm going to get, or whatever grade any student in Wales is going to get for their first year of their A-level, won't count to their overall A-level grade. So that means, in essence, this year, and the grade that you get is gone. Your AS level grade will not count to your overall A-level grade, which means that your last two exams next year in 2021, your A2 units, will be the only units that will count towards your A-level. So that's a big thing, because it's all on the last two exams next year. So you will not have the luxury of your AS level grades backing up your final grade. Now, I know with my exam board in Wales, the WJEC, the AS level grade contributes to 40% of your overall grade, and your A2 units is 60%. So you won't have that benefit of your AS level, your 40% of those marks backing up your overall grade. So it's going to be challenging. It's all going to be on your A2 grades, but there are different options that students can do in Wales. One of the first options is that you can elect to sit the AS level modules next year, which means that you will have 4 exams overall next year if you wanted to do that. Now that seems like a nuclear option, because most students 16 and 17 are doing 3 different other A levels, which means that if they do that option, possibly they may have upwards of 6, 7, 8 different exams next year, which is mind-blowing. You know, that's a huge amount of exams to study for. The other option, which is kind of like the normal option, is just to do your A2 exams, which are the 2 exams that you'll be doing in summer of 2021, and that's it. So your overall final A-level grade will be based on just those 2 exams. High risk strategy? Could be, but the great thing about what WJEC has said, our examining board, is that if you do the first option, which is to sit your AS level exams, that's 2 exams, and also do your A2 exams, which is another further 2 exams, so they will mark those 4 papers and then give you your grade. If it's the fact that you've done better in the A2 units, they will give you your final grade based on that. So I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you do the 4 exams, you got a B However, on the A2 units, you got an A. Based on that, they will give you an A instead. So it's not a do or die strategy, you know, at the end of the day. You know, if you want to do the A-less and the A2 units, great. But if you want to just do the A2, that's fine as well. So reflecting on the, my main challenges were subjects I never studied at GCSE. If you saw my last video, I really kind of like struggled with logarithms because I never learnt it at GCSE. Now, I thought I would struggle with calculus, differentiation and integration, but because I knew I was going to enjoy that subject, I actually did quite well in it. Just having that opportunity to study something so elegant, so beautiful, but complex in its ways was an amazing experience just to have that opportunity. So hopefully I can just continue next year, and next year is going to be a little bit difficult with the different calculus topics that I'm going to study. I think I'm going to have to do the product rule, the quotient rule, differential equations, you know, nasty things like that. No, they're not really nasty. They're actually kind of like really excited to get my teeth back into calculus. The other thing that I really enjoyed was, you know, getting back into stats. Stats for most mathematicians, through anecdotal evidence and stories, is that stats isn't really a favourite subject or favourite part of the syllabus for any student. You know, most students actually prefer to actually do mechanics rather than stats. So coming into doing the A-level, I thought stats would be, you know, my weak point because I didn't really enjoy it. But I was kind of like glad that I really, you know, got my teeth into it. When I began the course, I made sure that I was really going to focus and concentrate on stats because it was one of my weak areas. Now, I did do it at GCSE level, however, not in depth. And to be quite honest, I really skimmed probability. I did probably about a couple of days work when I was doing probability at GCSE level and just kind of like winged it in the exam. I didn't really have the opportunity at GCSE to really go in depth with probability, and just seeing the different sort of aspects of that subject really opened my eyes. It really isn't just about Venn diagrams and tree diagrams and that's it. There's a whole world of probability that opens your eyes, you know. I really do recommend to mature students that when you come to do your applied units that you really do focus on probability, because it lends itself and it translates itself into different aspects of the applied units. Not only does it come up within the subject itself, it comes up within the binomial distribution, the Poisson distribution, hypothesis testing as well. So you really are going to have to understand probability and the ins and outs of it to do well in the applied units. So my plan now for the rest of the summer really is to get ready for the A2 units. Luckily my tutor has sent me some material to actually study over the summer, and hopefully I can get prepped up and ready to go for September. Still no decision on what's going to happen in 2020 in terms of like how the second year of my course is going to be delivered. Maybe it's going to be classroom based, maybe it's going to be online based, we still don't know. But I'm thinking of doing a really crazy goal that I have in my mind, which is to not only do the second year of my mathematics A-level, but to study also A-level further maths and also GCSE physics, which is really mind-blowing. And on top of that, my full-time job. So the GCSE physics, I think I'll be okay. I really just want to do some more applied units to actually put in practice my mathematics and what I'm learning. But I know the biggest challenge will be the A-level further mathematics. Now, if you don't know, A-level further mathematics is the hardest or one of the hardest A-levels in the UK that you will ever do. It's only meant for A-star students in GCSEs. However, there is a further complication with A-level further mathematics. That is, there are no tutors available at college to actually deliver the class, which means that I will have to self-study one of the hardest, if not the hardest, A-level in the UK on my own. That is going to be a crazy challenge, but I think I'll be able to do it. The reason being is that I've learned so much from the first year of my A-level mathematics that I think I can do really well if I just focus and keep up to date with the work. Now, the great thing is that I will still have access to my A-level tutor, so if there's any questions that I need help with in terms of like my A-level further mathematics, I can ask him. I still really haven't made a decision if I'm going to do it, because it's 2 A-levels, 1 GCSE and 1 full-time job. I don't know, it's going to be one of those things whereby if I do it, it's going to take up a lot of my time and I'm going to have no life really. So I'll make a decision maybe in August if I'm going to do it. I'll speak to my tutor about it and see if it's a good idea. But A-level further maths introduces you to topics that you will never do in A-level mathematics. You know, the thought of studying complex number, matrices, for example. You know, I can't really go into uni without knowing those things. So the thought of studying more complicated subjects doesn't really frighten me, but it excites me. You know, it's really strange to say this, knowing the fact that the negative effects that coronavirus has had on the world. It's really given me an opportunity to reflect on what I really want to do in my life. Knowing that I'm studying something worthwhile in my life, just seeing those 2 astronauts going to space yesterday and knowing that I am studying that's something that contributed to that. You know, yes, there was tons of physics, tons of engineering that went into that, but I can guarantee you without mathematics, nothing would have happened. And I'm happy that I found something that I can focus on for the rest of my life, pursuing a worthwhile endeavour, a worthwhile goal that contributes not only to my own understanding, but contributes to humankind as well, which is a grand thing to say, quite a philosophical thing to say, but it's true. So that's it really. I just wanted to give you a quick update, take you outside my apartment, because even though people say you should have a consistent backdrop to actually do your YouTube videos, it's a great day and I really wanted to show you the outdoors here and how beautiful it is in my part of the world anyway. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and if you enjoyed this sort of backdrop rather than just having my videos filmed indoors, just put something in the comment section. I really appreciate it. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and take care.